So this next document is responding to allegations against employees in the area of child protection. There's been changes made to the Ombudsman Act 1974 and the Commission for Children and Young People's Act 1998. And those changes are basically to report the number of incidences coming through to the New South Wales Ombudsman and the CCYP. Teachers can now, as a result of those changes, take some disciplinary actions in the classroom. They can restrain children or young people in some ways. They can also raise their voice to maintain a classroom management. The CIPD now are the EPAC, the Employment Performance and Conduct Unit. The role of the Ombudsman, the New South Wales Ombudsman here, is to make sure the EPAC are doing their job properly in their investigations, making sure everything is all above board. The CCYP is responsible for employment screening for child-related employment. One of the principal roles of the EPAC is to investigate staff over child abuse claims and take disciplinary action. The EPAC consider anybody under 18 as a child. A young person is a child, age 16 or 17. Okay, so there's allegations and there's reportable allegations. So there's allegations of misconduct, allegations of reportable conduct. They're both reportable allegations, and the EPAC will pass it on to the Ombudsman if that's the case, and that will go to the CCYP. What is reportable conduct? Well, reportable conduct is any sexual offence or sexual misconduct against a child, any assault or ill treatment or neglect of a child, any behaviour that causes psychological harm to a child. So if you don't want the EPAC breathing down your neck and trying to get you fired, don't have anything sexual to do with a child, don't have inappropriate conversations of a sexual nature with a child, comments that express desire to act in a sexual manner with a child, unwarranted or inappropriate touching with a child, sexual exhibitionism in front of a child, personal correspondence, including electronic communication with a child in relation to sexual feelings, deliberate exposure, possession of child pornography anywhere, and that includes grooming behaviour, which would be seen to be increasing compliance for some sexual aim, I guess. Any neglect to a child would be reportable. Any behaviour that causes psychological harm to a child is also reportable, and that's including teasing, excessive unreasonable demands, hostility, inappropriate location, and isolation as punishment is also included in the psychological harm, which is reportable. So it looks like the EPAC doesn't just jump on its white horse and ride off into the yonder. It has a look at the age of the child, maturity of the child, health of the child, and other characteristics of that child in before it's doing its investigations. And as I mentioned before, the age cutoff is 18 years old, so any allegations of misconduct for a student 18 or over will not be handled by the EPAC. It would be done through other bodies, I would imagine.